Hi, if you're new here, and honestly, even if you're not, I feel like I owe you a little reintroduction. Not just because I look like a certified baddie with these hair extensions that I quite literally got from TikTok shop for like 20 bucks, but because my life looks a lot different than it did in the past. And honestly, thank God. I'm not gonna lie, a few years ago, my life looked kind of perfect on paper. I was a political reporter interviewing presidents. I worked in rooms with powerful people, said things that made headlines, and stayed completely calm under all of the pressure, even when I was fully low-key breaking down inside. I had the job, the ambitions, the accolades. What I didn't have, and I didn't care to have at the time, was peace, or boundaries, or a single working relationship that didn't mirror my family dynamic. By the way, a single relationship in general, friendships, romantic relationships, work relationships, all of those things, I was repeating these toxic family patterns and family behaviors within. Cute, right? Super cute. Almost as cute as I look. Then everything fell apart. Publicly, privately, spiritually, emotionally. I lost a job that I thought would define me. I cut off people I thought I couldn't live without, including my own mother. I moved from DC to New York City and back to DC. I cried. I tried to make sense of it all and overanalyze every little aspect of everything that went wrong and could have gone better every second of the day. I was trying to make sense of it all in therapy too. And yet I still felt like a ghost in my own life. And it's funny because when people talk about hitting rock bottom, I guess I always assumed it was something like really loud. And though my public humiliation and me being canceled was loud and public, hitting rock bottom for me was pretty quiet. It was something far quieter and honestly way more devastating, because hitting rock bottom wasn't necessarily being canceled. It was honestly being in the relationship I was in with the person at the time and how much that was testing me and forcing me to play out these family dynamics that I needed to heal from. But it was also really because after, I feel like my rock bottom was the aftermath of all of that. So being in that relationship and figuring all that out, figuring out all this stuff about myself that I didn't like and I wanted to change, dealing with my mental health really for the first time ever. But what was so profound and honestly so hard is, and I think a moment that kind of defined what rock bottom was like for me, is that I realized that I had literally spent my entire life up until that point, so 26, 27, 28, I had spent my entire life trying to be palatable to other people, trying to fit into whatever box they liked, and if they liked it, I loved it, I would be it for them forever. I spent my whole life trying to be palatable, respectable, acceptable, chosen, articulate, impressive. It's basically like a court jester, which I also joke about, but I fully am I think I was a court jester in a past life because I've been low-key a court jester in this life. And for what? For what? So I had to start over. There was no other option, and honestly, I was like, I need to get the fuck out of this life. I realized that when I was feeling suicidal, it wasn't that I was like, oh, I don't want to be alive. It was simply I didn't want to be living the life that I was living. I wanted to build a life that was worth living. So I started over. No press pass, no apology tour, just me. Not trying to fit back into the boxes and be palatable for other people, doing it my way, my own way that is true to myself without compromising who I am or going back to the exact same situations I would find myself in before. I have been going to therapy every single week since 2020, the best investment I've ever made in my entire life. And if you're not going, totally reach out to me. If you're having trouble finding a therapist, I will help you. I learned how to be alone, really alone, properly alone, not just alone in a cute self-care way, alone. No one is calling you. No one is coming by. I stopped chasing closure and acceptance. I started getting dressed for myself and not because I had to leave the apartment. which honestly is a huge step, because there were times when I fully was wearing the same oversized hoodie or like matching sweatsuit. I'm not kidding, for like 5 days in a row. I was so depressed I wasn't showering. So there's that also. But during that time too, it's like I was taking baths and crying in the bathtub, crying in the shower. I blocked people mid-conversation. I'm not even joking. I blocked people mid-conversation while texting because I was like, oh, wait a second. I don't want to have this energy in my life. I lit an insane number of candles. I have become so obsessed with candles that I've started making my own candles, you guys. I tell myself that it makes more sense financially, and it does, but they're never as good as the diptyque candles. But honestly, some of the ones that I've made compared to Le Labo, I'll say that much. And it's been a grueling process. It's been a really grueling process getting to where I am now. But I'll be honest, when I realized how much I hated myself, I realized at the same time that I needed to unlearn everything that made me hate myself. I needed to work really hard to stop hating myself because no one else was going to make it happen but me. So then one day I realized I don't hate myself anymore. And that's where we're at now. I literally, maybe for the first time ever, do not hate myself. Yes, I have days where I'm like, oh, I hate myself. I hate the way I look. And I have days where I'm down bad mentally, but I don't hate myself anymore. And honestly, that is such an incredible feeling. If I didn't hate myself back then, I wouldn't have put up with so much of the toxic behaviors and situations that I put up with. I feel bad for that girl now, but like, I don't hate myself anymore. So you're probably like, okay, Lexi, get to the point. Like, who are you now? Right? Who am I now? I don't have a clean little answer for you. I'm still figuring it out. I still live in DC. I'm still a writer on Substack now. I still do TV occasionally and talk about politics, but I've become really disillusioned with the media writ large and also just the political landscape in America. I'm still curious. I'm still critical. I'm still asking the questions that matter to you and to me, because I think a lot about other humans and the way we live. And if we all only get one shot at this life, then I want to learn as much about other people and the world as I can. And that was a huge impetus for going into journalism, to do just that. And now I have the space to talk about other things that actually matter to me beyond politics: beauty, boundaries, power, self-care, therapy, all of these things, the Diddy trial, you know, all of these crazy issues, how to survive your toxic family and going no contact with your parents and still thrive, you know? How to be smart and silly and sexual and spiritual without being reduced to any one of those things. I hate being boxed in to one thing. I'm a complex, squishy person, and I'm gonna bleed outside of the lines for fucking sure. I talk about how to rebuild yourself after everything has gone to shit around you, and how to rebuild your sense of identity when the version of yourself that you once loved is simply gone. So this space is for you. It's for the black sheep, the overachievers in recovery, the no contact girlies, the late bloomers, the soft power icons in training. I obviously do not have all the answers. I wish I did. If I did, I would share them with you. But I have stories and experience and tools from therapy, and I think a decent eye for lighting. So if you're healing, unraveling, rebranding, rebuilding, or maybe just feeling a little lost right now, pull up a chair. You're already part of this family and this community, so get on over here. Make sure you're subscribed. Subscribe if you want to. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm begging you. Please subscribe, please. Stay if it feels like home. Hang out a while. Make yourself cozy. Get a blanket, something warm to drink. I don't know. Maybe a pre-roll. Whatever suits you. I'll be here, telling the truth, minding my own nervous system, maybe having a little wine, okay? This is who I am now. I'm still figuring it out. I'm weird. But I'm here, and that's what matters. So thanks for being here. Nice to meet you. Mwah. Love you.